tell me they are from Benin, but not Yoruba, I only ask them if they know where they are from, because that math is not adding up. Today, I'm at the palace of His Royal Majesty Oba Ogunwusi Enetan to tell you the story of the Yoruba people and the Yoruba Kingdom. I did my National Youth Service in Ondo State, and one of the very first things I noticed was that many Ondo people don't see themselves as Yoruba. Instead of saying I am Yoruba, they proudly say I am Ondo. Some even deny being Yoruba altogether, just like their neighbor, the Edos. So that raises a big question. Who are the real Yorubas? The answer to this question will take us on a journey, one with both smooth road and bumpy detour, into a history that has been hiding in plain sight. A ride through time, culture, and the very accent that shape our identity. Here is where it gets tricky, because Yoruba wasn't even what we originally call ourselves. Some believe that the name Yoruba is a name Northerners used to describe us. Others argue that it was Bishop Samuel Ajayi Crowther who popularized it when he needed a single unifying name for us in his writing. The names talk, but the Yoruba people has different names for themselves. You know how we say it sometimes and we call each other Omo-Eko, Omo-Oyo, Omo-Ijebu? Those were the names we were used to, regional names that refer to different groups within the Yoruba nation. Before Yoruba was even a thing, people identify more with specific kingdom or town. People from Oyo didn't just call themselves Yoruba, they called themselves Oyo people, Omo Oyo, people from Ife, Omo Ife, and of course, people from Ijebu, Omo Ijebu. The idea of a unified Yoruba identity is relatively new in the grand scheme of things. Back then, identity wasn't singular, it was about where you come from. So, looking at it from this perspective, those who reject Yoruba identity are probably not as strong as I thought. Now, let's talk about accents. Yoruba isn't just one thing, it's a whole universe of dialects. And just like how someone from Bronx sounds different from someone from London, Yoruba dialect vary from region to region. You've got your Oyo Yoruba, the one that is considered the standard accent, and then you've got other accents that can make you raise an eyebrow. Take Ijebu for example. The Ijebu accent is distinct. Some might even say it's sophisticated. Personally, I love it. They have this finesse when they speak. They might drop C here and there, and their tone can sound a little more melodic, like they are singing lullaby instead of having a regular conversation. Then there is Ekiti, where the accent sounds a little more clear, with a certain intensity. You could say Ekiti people speak like they are always in a rush, or like they are always making an important announcement. You could be arguing with an Ekiti person and you feel like you are attending a political rally. But wait, what about Ondo? You see, Ondo people, despite speaking a Yoruba dialect, they often distance themselves from the general Yoruba identity. They believe their root is something deeper than being Yoruba. They will tell you we are Ondo. It's almost like they are saying we are something different from you guys. And then there is the Edo people. If you ever met somebody from Edo, you might have heard them deny their Yoruba heritage outrightly. They will tell you we are not Yoruba, we are Edo. But let's not go ahead of ourselves. Why the Edo language is different? There is a shared history between the Edo and the Ile-Ife. If you look closely, the Kingdom of Benin and Oyo Empire were interconnected long time ago. There are few occasions where the question of are Edo people really Yoruba always comes forth. The first is when we hear some of their names that are not affected by accents yet. The second is the title of their king. For instance, the title of the king of Benin is Oba of Benin. If that sounds familiar to you, it's because the word Oba is the Yoruba name for king. The last instance is during a traditional festival when there is a need for a little reference to the source. In some of these instances, they suspend the dialect and use a widely understood accent. Let's take it back to the beginning. It is widely believed that Yoruba people originated from the southwest region of Nigeria, with Ile-Ife as the ancestral home of Yoruba people, the very cradle of Yoruba civilization. In fact, there is a saying, Ile-Ife ni Orisun Gbogbo, meaning Ile-Ife is the source of everything. The most famous legend traces Yoruba people back to Oduduwa, who is said to have descended from heaven. Think of it as our own version of the Big Bang theory, just with a little bit of divine intervention. Oduduwa, known as the father of the Yorubas, didn't just show up. He established the first kingdom, and these weren't just settlements. They were cultural powers shaping politics, religion, and influence across the region. The story that connects all Yoruba starts with Oduduwa, the legendary ancestor of the Yoruba people. Oduduwa has one son, Okanbi, and Okanbi has many children. But among them, there were 7 notable sons, and each of them went on to establish powerful kingdoms. The 7 sons are Olowo of Owu, Alaketu of Ketu, Onagun of Ila, Olusabe of Sabe, Olupopo of Popo. One of them established the Benin Kingdom, and the last one is Origin. These 7 sons were the root of what will later become the Great Yoruba Kingdom, and from them, more towns and villages were born, spreading Yoruba culture far and wide. And this is why a lot of Yoruba people will trace their origin back to Ile-Ife. Now, let's talk about the Benin Kingdom. One of Okambison became the king of Benin, and that is why the ruler of Benin is called the Oba of Benin. And if you ever got a chance to meet a native of Benin who know his origin, they will tell you that they are also a descendant of Oduduwa, just like the rest of us. A long time ago, the Ondo of Ife had a wife who gave birth to twins, but back then, having twins was an abomination, a crime punishable by death. So, to save her children, the Ondo of Ife wife escaped in the middle of the night. She ran until she reached Ile-Oluji, where she found safety. The twins she saved grew up and founded Ondo Town and Ile-Oluji. That is why Ondo Town and Ile-Oluji have such historical and cultural ties. So, if that is the story, why do some Ondo and a lot of Edo don't associate themselves with the Yoruba origin? It is because of the dialects and the fact that most of them probably don't understand the general accepted accents. But if every community of Yoruba origin decided to capitalize on dialects for association or disassociation with Yoruba heritage, we probably have nobody claiming to be Yoruba today. What do I mean? There are over 20 main dialects in Yoruba language. Notable ones include Oyo, which of course is the standard. We also have the Ife, Ijesha, Ijebu, Egba, Ondo, Ekiti, Awori, Ilaje, Ketu, Ibarapa, Okun, Igbomina, Akoko, Owo, Ikale, Ishekiri in Delta State, Ketu in Benin Republic and Togo, and Idasha in Benin Republic. Here is the funniest thing. Most of these people don't understand each other's dialect except we decide to go by the Oyo, which of course is the standard, or any of its variants. Now, Yoruba isn't just a Nigerian thing. It's a global phenomenon. If you head to Brazil, Cuba, or Trinidad and Tobago, you find that Yoruba culture and religion have shaped an entire community. Candomblé in Brazil or Santeria in Cuba. These are just a few examples of Yoruba tradition and beliefs spreading far and wide. In fact, the Yoruba influence can be found all over the world. Thanks but no thanks to the transatlantic slave trade, and guess what? There are even Yoruba communities in places like the United States and the United Kingdom. Some of us might be living outside of Nigeria but still carry those Yoruba roots with us. Think about it, whether it's a Yoruba wedding, a Baba in the UK speaking Yoruba to his grandchildren, or a festival in Brazil where the Yoruba gods are honored. Our culture is still alive and thriving. That is the most important thing. So, who are the real Yorubas? Well, the answer is both simple and complicated. It's not about the language you speak or the accent you have. It's about culture, identity, and a shared history that is as complex as it is beautiful. You might not realize it, but you could be more Yoruba than you think. Now, I want to hear from you. Where do you think your roots are from? Are you in the Yoruba club or you are still trying to figure it out? Drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Let's continue this conversation. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, I'll see you!